Hi, my name's Dan Storey. I'm a session guitarist and I've been playing for 20 something years now. I play acoustic and electric. We're on the acoustic today, as you can see, and we're going to be looking at this track 4-5 Seconds by Kanye West, Rihanna and some guy called Paul McCartney. So we're going to start off by looking at what is really the essence of this track, which is this sort of alternating two chord riff. Just that repeated. So there's two things we want to look at here really. First is the fingering. Most of us will be familiar with a D chord, which we're starting off with. The chord that it sort of alternates with is a bit like if you were to play a bar chord, a G bar chord here on the 3rd fret. If you took the top 3 notes of that and put it over an open D string, that gives us our chord. So it's like a G chord, but with holding that D note in the bass. So it's just those two chords alternating. D, and then G over D, we're going to call it. So that's the fingering. With regards to the strumming, we're going to need to use this palm muting technique, which I know some of you will be familiar with. But for those that aren't, it's really about resting this part of your hand on the strings so you don't get a fully open sound, you get a muted sound. That's really the sound of the track and key to making this song sound authentic as it's been recorded. So with this palm muting technique, it really is a balance. If we go too high this way, we don't get any sound at all. If we go too far this way, we get too much of the strings ringing. So it's all about finding that right position here, resting the palm on the strings and playing like that. And you can hear we're starting to get that sound already. So you might just want to try that with one chord, just to get that going, and then the two together. That's really the essence of the track. That's the riff that kind of carries all the way through. Everything else, apart from the bridge where it's open chords, which we'll go through in a moment, is just variations on that and slightly different chord changes. So now we've got that riff down, let's take a look at playing the chorus section. I like to kind of divide things up when I'm learning sections of music, so we're going to divide this into 4 parts. The first part is the riff, as we've been doing it. That's part 1, we've got that. Part 2, it sort of does that rhythm on the D, hits the A briefly and then returns to the D, so that's going to go like this. That's the second part. So I'm not playing a full A chord, I'm just moving my first finger down a string to get almost like a sort of power chord on the A before moving back to the D. So third part is the same as the first part, which we've already got. And the very last part, the 4th part of the chorus, is B minor to A. Okay, let's put those 4 parts together. So we start off with our riff. D back to A. Again, B minor to A, and that's the chorus. So now let's take a look at the bridge section. We're going to have to sort of interpret this a bit because on the track there is no guitar playing, despite the fact that Sir Paul McCartney seems to be playing guitar in the video. So it's just long open chords. It's really going to test our voicings just to make sure that all the notes are kind of ringing out nicely. So starting on the G, F sharp minor, testing out our bar chords, and E minor, just long held chords. And then same thing again but in quicker succession. G, F sharp minor, E minor, B minor, and then A sus to A. And then it does that again basically. go, that's the bridge. So there you have it. We've covered the basic sections of the song, everything we need to approach playing it. So have a listen to it, play along, you know, get into it, have some fun basically. I'm just going to show you one little extra thing. I like to sort of put my own spin on things. So if you notice in the last chorus, I've tried to incorporate the melody a little bit into what we're doing. So this is what it sounds like. We take that little bit on its own. It's all based around this D chord. A little finger up there, bit of a stretch. And it's all about using the pick to pick those notes out. So you've got D, D sus2, and then that top D there. And then our next chord is almost like the top part of a B minor. It's actually a G major 7, but we're holding that D in the bass. So we're sort of playing a B minor over D to get that melody in there. You could even play a complete G with a bass note as well, if you want it, just to give it some more emphasis. There's more than one way of playing everything. It's all about adding your own spin, your own interpretation. Well, I hope all this has been helpful. Do go away, make it your own, have fun and enjoy it, as that's the most important thing. If you have enjoyed this video and found it helpful, check out some of Music Room's other tutorials.